We have a lot on the agenda today. We're going to go over the objectives and the agenda, things like that. We want to make sure that because we have so much packed in, we have a lot of things we want to cover, that that we can just move through this smoothly, listen to each other, things like that. We'll go over some group agreements in a minute. Before we get started, we wanted to introduce ourselves and the crew that kind of worked together to put this workshop together, and then we'll go forward.
Cool. So my name is Madeline Moyer. I'm from Miami, Florida, and that's kind of where I got started in working in political education. I was a participant in an organization called Seed 305. Some of you all may have heard of it, and also did some organizing with Seed 305. Seed 305 is a political education organization that is run by and works with youth and is supported by a couple political organizations in the Miami area like Power U and Miami Workers Center. And then I had the opportunity to do the Ann Braden program, which is an anti-racist white organizer training program in the Bay Area. And that's sort of what has shaped my analysis around white allyship and white anti-racism. So just so you have a sense of where I'm coming from.
And my name's Rebecca. I grew up in Northern Virginia, specifically in North Arlington, if anybody's familiar with that area. Growing up there, where it's specifically in North Arlington, predominantly white and pretty liberal, it was easy for me to kind of be a white liberal and not face racial injustice every day, and not see how I played into it, see my role in it, and therefore not necessarily do anything about it or specifically act to fight it. The last 11 years I've been living in Miami, where it's not easy to hide from racial injustice. It's in your face every day. And so that's really shaped a lot of my politics and where I'm coming from. Spent the last 11 years working with, as a white ally with different people of color-led organizations in Miami. Power U, Miami Workers Center, Take Back the Land, Kijani, Florida Immigrant Coalition. And that has really guided a lot of the work that I do. I've also done a little bit of work with the Ann Braden program and Catalyst Project. And yeah, that's kind of where we're coming from. We are the main facilitators of the workshop, but we've been working with a whole crew of people to put it together. So we want to kind of have people pop up and introduce themselves. Kenzie's going to be taking stack.
CNC coordinator.
CNC coordinator, Shug over there at the door. Kayla. Both of them are going to be helping us keep time today. And we've been working with the Dream Defenders to really have this workshop be shaped to what is needed here. So Larry, Myra, Brittany, Kayla again.
And Christine.
Christine. It's been essential. Here.
Sorry.
My view right here.
And we wanted to just put out there that what we are presenting today and what we're going to be working with today, sort of the analysis around white allyship and anti-racism, is one way to approach the work. It is the way that we have been working with and what has shaped our participation and working in solidarity with against anti-Black racism movements. And so that's the lens we're going to be using today. It's not the only way, like I said, and so if you have other ways of doing this work, like we just encourage you to, we can talk about it after the event or to plan other events, but we want to just like sit with this particular analysis today in this workshop. You want to add anything to that?
No.
Okay. So we're going to do a quick icebreaker. And so what we will be doing is we want everyone to get a chance to, we won't have a chance to have everyone introduce themselves, which is why we have the name tags with the preferred gender pronoun. But we would like you to introduce yourself to at least 2 people that you don't know. So we want you to turn to someone you don't know right now. Introduce yourself. Oh, hold on 1 second. We're not ready. Okay, wait.
As you're introducing yourself, hold on.
Time out. Okay, I did say right now, but I didn't really mean right now. So you're gonna, when I say to, you're gonna introduce yourself. You're gonna each share one of your favorite natural spaces in Gainesville or somewhere else, And you're going to explain what brought you here today. Why are you here? What motivated you to come out and spend your Saturday talking about this topic? And then you're going to, okay, sorry. So you're going to do that with one person, and then when you finish, just turn to somebody else. So 2 people. Go. We are going to move on.
So we all got to meet a few people, find out why each other came here today. And we want to talk about why as a group we're all here together, what our objectives are. So you can look over here if you want to read them. The objectives, the reasons why we're here in this workshop today, are for us to question together what it means to be white people in a white supremacist society while engaging in the Black Lives Matter movement and other social justice movements, and to offer strategies and tools to support participation and accountability in the fight against anti-Black systemic racism. So we're going to do that by breaking the workshop into 2 parts. We have an agenda back there you can look at if you need to. The first part of the workshop is going to be about establishing common ground, making sure we're all working from a similar place, going over common definitions and words we're going to use, going over history, white privilege, things like that. And after we do those things, in part 2, we'll be ready to talk about what's happening right now, what's happening in the present moment nationally and locally. So before we go any further, and in order to make this workshop run really smoothly and for everybody to be able to get as much out of it as possible, we do have some group agreements that we work together to put together. And we're going to have Kenzie, Larry, and Christine to talk about them.
So I'm going to be stack taker, so just a few guidelines for the stack. If you want to speak, raise your hand and make sure you make eye contact with me so that I see you, so I can write you down. A few things, let's see, move forward, move back. So if you usually are a person that speaks up a lot or find yourself speaking multiple times during meetings, then try to be conscious of that and maybe take a little space back and kind of listen more, make that kind of your intention. And if you're somebody who finds yourself not speaking up enough and wanting to say stuff but not really ever getting the chance, maybe try to push yourself to raise your hand and make your point and be part of the discussion. So we're going to limit it to 1 minute or less speaking time, just because there's a lot of people here and we want to really make sure everybody gets a chance to speak. Another kind of reflection thing is we're going to try to wait 10 seconds after each person speaks so that you can kind of absorb it and not just be thinking about what you're going to say next, and just have a little time to take that in. 1 mic, so please no interrupting people. Please wait your turn. Don't do take up too much space. I'm going to be elevating people of color's voices on the stack, just so you know that. And I'm also, if I've noticed you've been speaking a lot, or try to think of have I spoken in the last 15 minutes? Maybe I don't need to be speaking right now. And I will call on people who aren't being called on, just so you know. I'm going to take that liberty. And let's see. Oh, we're going to limit it to 1 direct response. So it's something that's very, very important to clarify what somebody has just said. You can use that, but let's try to not use that. Yeah. Direct response is somebody's making a point and you have something to say that should not add to it, but you need to clarify what somebody's saying, or you have a point of information that you think will clear that up. So, okay. And then twinkle fingers. So, if you like something that somebody's saying, do twinkle fingers. See how everybody's feeling. It's nice. I think that's all for stack. Larry, Christine?
So for the group agreement for the vibe, clap for confusion is if you are confused about something and you say that you're confused, everybody claps.
Or okay, so clap for confusion. If you have just qualms or issues about something that's been said and you're confused, just I'm confused, guys. Can I get clarification? Yeah. Clap for yourself. So yeah.
And permission to be raggedy is if I know with me, a lot of people are articulate than a lot of people. So if you find yourself having a hard time expressing yourself, then permission to be raggedy allows you to just really get what you're trying to say out, and it gives you a little time to really get your words together, so. And
Good morning, everyone. I'm Christine. I'm going to talk about two things on the group agreements. Can I ask everyone to take a deep breath with me just to get the blood flowing? Okay, thank you. So I'm going to talk about expect and experience discomfort. So we're all here because we want to challenge our growth and our experiences, especially when interacting with anti-oppression work. So what that means is if you find yourself feeling panicky and you feel like you need to calm yourself down, maybe check in with a buddy, and sorry, I also have a hard time public speaking, so this is why this is very important to me. Check in with a buddy and make sure that you guys are keeping each other focused. This is a place where you will be challenged and you will experience discomfort, and that's okay. Also, I want to remind folks to stay engaged. So if you need to walk around, stretch your legs, use the bathroom, access water, there's water over there. Yeah, make sure that you're keeping up with your needs so that you can stay focused and engaged in this space. Because it may be a long day and a hard day, but we're all in it together. Was that clear? Yes. Do you want to take one more deep breath? That's another thing to remember, is to keep taking deep breaths when you guys are feeling like you're getting in this panic zone, because that really calms me down. One more time. Thank you.
I'm gonna just add to that. So thank you, Christine. I really appreciate that reminder because I get like excited and then I get really hyped and I talk really fast, and so it's good to just a minute. Adding to what Christine said about expect and experience discomfort, I just wanted to offer a graphic over here that for me is really helpful. In understanding how that works. So this one over here, the comfort zone in the middle, growth zone, and then panic zone. So we can envision these places we go as these concentric circles, right? And when we're like in the places that we're most comfortable, we're just like hanging out with our really closest friends. Maybe that's your family. Maybe it's when you're home just like watching TV or doing like really chilling, you know, like not being confronted with anything that's hard or challenging. That's your comfort zone, right? And then out the outside you have your growth zone, which is where you're being challenged with some things. It might be kind of hard or uncomfortable, but it's where the magic happens. It's where you grow and you learn. And then outside of that is your panic zone. And that's when you're confronted with things that are like way too much and you're just kind of like, I shut down. And you don't grow there, you don't learn there, you just shut down. So you're not growing and learning in your comfort zone, you're not growing and learning in your panic zone, you're growing and learning in your growth zone, right? But these things are expandable, and so sometimes we automatically go from our comfort zone to our panic zone when we're confronted with a new thought or a new idea. And someone like presents this to you and you're just like, shut down, I can't deal with it, right? And you like immediately panic. But that's not helpful. So the idea here is what I want to ask you to do is to work to expand your growth zone, right? Like if something is a little bit challenging for you, be like, can I make that part of my growth zone so that instead of shutting down and panicking or retreating to my comfort zone and leaving the situation, I actually grow in the situation. And soon those things that were in your growth zone become part of your comfort zone and our growth zone gets bigger and bigger. So that's something if, for me, is really helpful to just like refer to in my mind or to take a look at that when I feel like I'm in a situation where I'm just like, this is so uncomfortable to me, I'm shutting down. Just think about like, how can I work to stay here, feel that discomfort, and make it part of my growth today.
All right, and also I'm not sure if this one got said to not make assumptions about people's racial or gender identities. They're not always obvious, so we're going to try to work hard on not making assumptions.